All right. What y'all brothers have to deal with this week? How y'all week been going so far?
Another day on the right side of the dirt. I'm blessed for that. What's up?
You know what I'm saying? Another day to make it right, man.
Oh man, did y'all enjoy that feast though? I know it.
Khan.
Absolutely.
Khan. I still got a smile on my face, man. I enjoy that, man. All the way down to the end, man. From the questions that we had at the ending, you know what I'm saying? You know, picking Alawan, you know what I'm saying? He asking us questions and stuff. That was cool, man. I enjoyed that. I really did.
And I also feel like we shouldn't also wait just for feast days in order to make that a thing. Like I think that should be, even if we go out to Jack's or something like that, or wherever we go out to eat, whatever. I think we should definitely make that a habit. Because strengthen everybody that night. And I can appreciate all my brothers because like being in the truth, having been in the truth for about 4 or 5 years, it was a lot of camps that I actually looked at and I was like, I want to go out and do this work, but it was like Adawan actually said, like you got to pick the camp that fits your spirit the best. Right. And I literally could not have picked a better set of brothers. I even found in-laws and neighbors and everything in this camp. So it's all praise to the Most High.
All praises. Shalom, princes of the living power. Shalom, Phoenix Storm. Shalom, Jason. Shalom, Sergeant Slaughter. Shalom, Israel. Shalom.
Shalom, Yasharallah.
Who named Sergeant Slaughter? That's fine.
Yeah. We're gonna let a few more people come up in here before we get completely started. Today's lesson is going to be entitled "Satan in the Game." It's just a brief lesson, it's a quick lesson. I had something happen to me today that made me that inspired me to actually bring this lesson to the forefront. I have another lesson to do, but I think this is pertinent. We're going to discuss some things, Israel. We're going to discuss some things about how to govern your own household. We're going to talk about what to do when situations come from outside and you still want to be brotherly. We're going to talk about those things tonight. We also got another lesson. We got our first actual Hebrew lesson tonight. And we're going to give you some milk and some basics on how to build and reading the Hebrew and speaking the Hebrew as well. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. We're going to let some people build up. We're going to continue talking as men for a quick little minute until we get a couple more people in here, and then we're going to jump right into the lesson. Like I was saying about that feast, though, hey, man, that's always beautiful when you can get together with your people, with like-minded people, and fellowship with each other, come together in agreement. You have a good time. Like you said, when we was picking out on one's brain, that was probably my favorite part of the night.
That was the highlight.
just to be able, a lot of people, y'all don't realize SOT has very humble leadership. Like they're very leadership. They talk to you, they deal with you, they kick game at you, they test you, you know what I'm saying? They test and they build you. And we have to be grateful for that leadership. Adawan, Kanol, Adawan, y'all were all Adawan, Eliel. Brothers put in a lot of diligent work to raise us up to be able to come here and go out on Saturdays and be able to teach this truth. You know what I'm saying? All praises to them, and all praise to them being humble enough to talk to us as brothers and not just as superiors all the time. They actually talk to us as brothers. Like that's a great thing. I want some more lamb, but I'm ready for some more lamb. I ain't gonna lie. I want some more lamb.
Hey, shout out whoever did it. Shout out to everybody that made the food, but whoever did that lamb is busting. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, let me check something real quick. Yeah. All right, man. A couple more minutes.
Come on in, Israel. Hit that like button when you come in as well.
Right. I don't know. I'm looking at it. I don't. It seemed like. Hold on. There it goes. All right. There we go.
We good?
There we go. Yep. I see it. Put a 7 in the chat if you can hear us, by the way. We can make sure we're good.
Come on.
Kind. People say they can hear us.
Hours ago.
All right. Shalom, Israel. Shalom. All praises to the Most High for another beautiful day. Hopefully you guys had a great day today. Hopefully you guys were able to learn something and commune with the Most High and be able to actually enjoy your day. For some of us, it was not so joyous, but those days are the days that we should take with a grain of salt and learn something from those situations. Learn some humility. Learn something about yourself. Even if you can't change whatever happened to you today, make sure you learn something about yourself out of this and pray. Definitely pray. Tonight's lesson, as I said earlier, is entitled Satan and the Game. Well, not Satan, the devil and the game. We all know that the devil is the adversary. He comes. He tries to take he takes everything you have. Like, he's opposition to you. Like, he is literally the one thing on this earth, or in this realm, I guess you would say. It's like the one thing that you can count on to always be the same. He's never going to change. The only person more consistent than him is the Most High. Like, he and Yahweh.
That's right.
Change. He's always, the minute you got a little bit of a spark in the flame, here he come. I'm gonna blow it out. I'm gonna stomp it out. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you got something going good for yourself, here he come. And what does the Bible say our opposition comes from? Where does our regular opposition comes from?
You want to put it in the chat? Or you going to?
Somebody can put that precept up in the chat. Somebody can tell me what does the Bible say our opposition comes from, man? What is our biggest test? And one of y'all grab that precept.
You want to go to Matthew?
Yep.
Matthew chapter 10.
Yeah.
You want me to wait?
God. That's a good portion. That's a good portion, Octave. That's a good portion of our tribulation. It's good. That's a good. Edom brings up a lot of turmoil and tribulation for us. But as far as our very first enemy, when you come into this truth, where's your natural opposition going to come from? Who's the first person that you got to deal with? Who's normally the first people you try to teach? I don't see too much going on. All right, go ahead and read it for him, y'all walk. That's right. Azrael said it. Family, go ahead and read it.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 36. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Man's foes gonna be they of his own household. I mean, everybody close to you, everybody that you got a link with, everybody that you was doing dirt with in your previous life before you came into this truth. Read it again.
A man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Nah, it's gonna be people that live, down the block. Read it again.
And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Man, it's gonna be everybody that you know what I'm saying. You used to be cool with, but you put them off. Read it again.
And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
A man's foe is gonna be they of his own household. Of his own household. I mean, everybody in your house that you try to teach at some point is gonna become opposition to you. That's where it starts at, Israel, with your family and your friends, the people that you close to, people that you love the most, the people that you want to see doing the best. So I'm gonna tell y'all something that happened to me today. I have a friend that I've known since I was in the crib. We grew up together. Like, this is one of my best friends. I haven't seen or talked to him in 7 years. The last time I talked to him, we got into an argument about some stuff that was happening with a woman, of all things, with a female, with my rib, and how he made her feel. And he left with an attitude. Well, today, Israel, as I'm preparing for this lesson and trying to solidify things, my brother shows up to my house, homeless, with no shoes, and the same attitude that he had when he left. He went from a high state to a low state. Thank the Most High that I didn't have to watch the turmoil in the fall. This is how he showed up at my house. And I told him what I was doing. I told him I was getting ready for a lesson. But I at the same time felt the need that I need to help Israel. This is my brother. This is somebody that I love. I gotta help Israel. Well, read that verse again, y'all. Yeah, y'all hear?
Verse 30. This is Matthew 10 and 36. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Man's foes should be they of his own household. All right, Barnabas, jump over to John 10 and 10.
Con.
I don't realize, Israel, what that scripture is telling you, to be prepared for any and everything from the people that's around you, that you love, that you care about. Anybody that you care about, that scripture is giving you a clear and present warning. This is where your opposition is going to come from. Your hardest test is trying to get your people to understand something and trying to see this truth. Go ahead, read, Barnabas.
Con. This is the book of John, chapter 10, verse 10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy.
What he come for?
The thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy.
So you telling me that the Bible just said the thief ain't coming, he coming to steal, kill, and destroy. I ain't hear anywhere in there where it says that coming to uplift your household. I didn't hear anywhere where the thief is coming to, advance your truth. I didn't hear anywhere in there where it says the thief is coming to make your life better. What it said the thief is coming to do?
So the thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy.
That means utterly lay your life to waste. He wants to everything. He'll mess up your relationship. He'll mess up your job situation. The thief will come in and snatch your money out from under you. This is the purpose of the devil. This is what he comes to do. The minute you think you sitting pretty and you sitting good, you got to be reminded, I can go right back to this. This all you need is to get around this one person. Right back in it. And I'm telling y'all, the brother that showed up to my house today is the one person on this planet that can drag me into some very hellacious situations. I learned something about myself today and my growth. I learned something about life in general and the decisions we have to make as brothers. When I made this lesson, I'm thinking about this lesson from a parent, a father, and a husband standpoint. As I talk to y'all about what happened today, y'all going to see why I decided to make this lesson. You're going to understand why I chose to use these precepts and these scripts to describe it, and why I called it the devil in the game. This is a game we playing. This is a battleground type game. If some of y'all are into Call of Duty, you know what I'm saying? This is we on the board with the airport. This is survival mode, right? And they sending juggernauts after you at this point, right? You're not just getting foot soldiers with pistols. You know what I'm saying? You're getting a fully armored juggernaut at this point, chasing after you. All right. So we also got to identify something else. Who's the devil? What does the Bible say, and who is the devil? Give me 1 John 3 and 8. Yair, you got anything else you want to jump in with this? Go ahead. Give me 1 John 3 and 8.
Con. This is the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 8. He that committeth sin is of the devil.
What?
He that committeth sin is of the devil.
That scripture going to be very important as I continue to go through this story and how it relates to the nation of Israel. I didn't get it. We all have been through something like this. We all been through something similar to this. So that scripture is going to become very important in a second. Bear with me 1 second. Let me do this. There we go. All right. Read it one more time, Mark. Just so.
Con. This is the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 8. For Salakia, he that committeth sin is of the devil.
He that committeth sin is of the devil. So I'm going to tell y'all and explain to y'all why I said, you know what I'm saying, it's the devil in the game. The devil comes and he presents himself as a gift, a package. The way my brother showed up and called me and talked to me, I was ecstatic. I was excited. This is my brother. I ain't seen him in 7 years. I'm humbling down. Like I got to lose my attitude. I ain't seen him in 7 years. I know I was mad at him, but you know, this is my brother. Well, as soon as he got here, I realized some things. This brother trying to distract so off that even if I wanted to help him, he won't allow me to help him in the way that he needs help. I understood that. And I understood it and I started to begin to understand this brother is not just here to distract me. He's really here to pull me out of this truth. He's trying to hurt me. He wants to hurt me because his situation is messed up. Because his life is hard. And he had a reason to feel like that. The man walked into my house with no socks on, with no shoes on, in his socks. In his socks. There's no way to describe the amount of pain that man is going through. He's homeless, sleeping in the car, and in his socks. And I already know where the situation is going. He's coming to ask me if he can spend the night or if he can stay and move into my house with my family. But it gets deeper than that. It gets deeper than that. Not only is it that, his rib is an Edomite, and I have kids at home. So I naturally got to pay attention to your personality and your mood and how you're talking. And my friend is showing all the signs of struggling with dealing with an addiction, which he eventually comes out and confirms. It's meth and it's crack. This is a guy 7 years ago I was trusted to hold me down at my house with my wife while I was gone out of town for a couple of days. Make sure that my family is protected and safe. I would have trusted him with this 7 years ago. Good thing I never had to. I found out some things that was going to hurt. I found out today some things that's really going to bother people. Because you got a lot of Jakes in Israel that used to be your friend, and they think that because you're in a different mode now, you still have to carry yourself as you're their friend. You still got to do the same things. Like, yo, you still got to hold me down. This man came in my house and asked me, yo, all right, man, hey, can you help me out? I'm struggling. Can you do something? I'm looking at my brother and I'm thinking to myself, I gotta help him. Before he can tell me his whole situation, I'm in my closet. Yo, I got you. I'm in my closet. I'm getting clothes, getting all the shoes. And I'm telling him, now I'm not a baller, but yo, you can have anything in here. Anything you want, take it. It's yours. I don't care. Just take it. He takes a pair of shoes. And then we get to talking about the real situation. And yeah, he goes, yo, we need to talk outside. We go outside to talk about this situation. And guess what happens? I need me and her to stay. All right. I got to talk to my rib about that. No, brother, you going to let me stay here. I helped you put this house together, which is a fact. He helped me build my basement. That's not enough for you to make demands at my house, though. It's not going to happen. You've been years. And the last talk that we had was you arguing with me about how to make my rib comfortable. That's the last thing on my brain. You still owe me this conversation. I understand, Israel. This is how the devil plays with you. He'll bring back something that you've been longing for a while. I've been longing to talk to my brother for a minute just to get past the situation so I don't feel like I'm harboring hate against somebody. And this is how that particular person showed up at my house. So what's the game? In a nutshell, the game is humbling down. The game is understanding you're fighting a battle that ain't a physical battle. The people in opposition in front of you are being used. They're being told what to do. They're being influenced by outside forces. Give me Ephesians 6 and 10 through 12.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, and ye may be able to stand against the wills of the devil.
Go back to the top.
Khan. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord.
Be strong in the Lord. Keep going.
Khan. And in the power of his might.
Be strong in the power of his might. It's to always remember who your power is.
Khan.
The game is to always remember who your Lord is. The game is to always uplift and show reverence to the being, to the Most High, to the reason why you're here, to the reason why you're blessed, to the reason why you're set apart, to the reason why you're considered holy. That's the game. The devil's whole job is to make sure that is to try to tempt you and take you out of what you're doing for the Most High. The devil ain't here, and here's another thing: the devil follow orders. He do what he told. Satan follow orders, man. He don't do nothing on his own fruition. He do whatever the Most High allow him and tell him to do.
That's right.
The game for you is to understand that your opposition got a job. He the best at it. That's why he's sitting in his seat.
Salaki, everyone.
Go ahead.
Because you'll have somebody that's saying, well, nah, you got to prove that. Because how does the devil work for the Most High or anything? Like, he's the number one informant.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 39, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance. Which
why are they created? Go back.
For
why are they
vengeance.
created?
They're created for vengeance, specifically.
That's right. Keep going.
Which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, in the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So for them to appease, it's like they jump at the opportunity to please the Most High. Literally. So fire, verse hold on, I'll read all the way down to 31. It says, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is. And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. So even those evil spirits are still doing the will of the Most High.
We all out here playing a role. We all playing a role, man. I heard somebody say one time, it's God's movie and you just playing a role in it. That's it. All you can do is act out what you've been told to act out. Nothing more, nothing less. That free will thing, you got to convince me of that. Otherwise, you got to explain how it is that all these events lined up perfectly. We live in a prophecy right now. I don't know. It's hard to convince me about free will if we're literally living a prophecy right now. I don't know what to tell you. All right, so go back to Ephesians. To Ephesians 6. Yeah.
All right, this is chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
Mm-hmm.
Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wills of the devil.
That's it right there. That's the game. Put on the whole armor of God so that you may be able to stand against the wills of the devil. The devil gonna come at you every day in one way, shape, and every day you to fight. You gotta be willing to fight. You gotta be willing to stand up. You gotta be willing to say to your situation that's not how this is going. You're not gonna control me. Most High prepared me for this. You gotta be willing to humble down and pray. You gotta be willing to get there. You gotta be willing to get there. It ain't gonna be no easy struggle. It ain't gonna be no easy path. This is something that Israel gonna struggle with this until the Most High come back. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 54 or 56. All right, this is 54. Thank you. What's what we dealing with? You got these curses on us that at the end of the day, these curses are going to plague us and they're going to hamper us and pull us down until we get so bogged down with it that it's the only thing we can think about. Why you think most of what you consider Black America right now is so destitute and so confused? We got Satan on our back. We got Esau on our back. We got all these different nations on our back. And then when you get around your own people, you can't even trust them. They'll try to use you. You can't even allow them to be around. The game is for you to understand exactly who you are. Up off the bench, walk up to the coach, say, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. I know what I'm doing. And the only way you do that is through these precepts. You got to learn how to study. Because these precepts is what's going to give you wisdom. What's that precept? What was that?
Lock you.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Talking about Psalms 119 and 104.
That's it.
Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way.
Yep. Read it. Don't just quote it for one. Read it.
Say 119, 104.
Yep.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 104. Through thy precepts I get understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore I hate every false way.
Through thy precepts I get understanding. By reading this word, by understanding and acknowledging what you're reading, you can begin to understand the world that's in front of you. You can begin to see the things that's transpiring in front of you. The way that the devil wants to use these different things to hamper you and pull you down. You can start to see it. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Seeing my friend had me in tears. It had me in tears. I've never seen my friend in that state, and it hurts because I want to help him, but I can't help him. Can't do nothing. Y'all gonna see why eventually. That put me in tears. This is a destitute. He's in a low state, man. Read that precept one more time, Barnabas.
Khan. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 104. And it reads, through thy precepts I get understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore I hate every false way.
Man, I hated everything that he said to me today.
Khan.
I hated it. I hated how he challenged me. I hated how he looked at me, and in the middle of me trying to understand where he was coming, trying to talk to him about why my situation is completely different now from 7 years ago. I'm a different man now. Man, instead of acknowledging somebody's echoing. All right. Instead of acknowledging what the situation was, instead of understanding it and trying to humble himself down, he automatically assumed that I was something that I wasn't. That pissed me off. And I mean, when he assumed that I was something that I wasn't, this is a man, when I first came into the truth, my first time actually watching Israelite video, he was sitting in my basement with me, and I told him, "Yo, this is different. This is powerful, man." He agreed. This is something completely different. I've never heard this before. We were sitting in my basement watching YouTube videos. He was the person that I first saw Zabak with. I was first able to see a video from Priest Zabak with. He was sitting right there with me. I had conversations with him about this. First thing he said to me when he realized that what I meant by I'm a different person, you a Muslim now? No. I'm far from being a Muslim. I'm far from being a Muslim, man. I don't agree to those tenets of Islam. But what I am is a person that understands my history. Before I could even get into all that, I'm telling you how the devil works and how he had me. I had just told this man I was working on a lesson for a show. Before I could get into all that, and F that Bible. F this, F that, F that. You understand this, and you don't understand where I'm coming from, and I don't need nobody preaching to me. This came out the same mouth of a person who, when he told me how destitute he was, I went straight to my closet to get him all the clothes that I could find for him. No questions asked. And it offended me. It upset me to the point where I was ready to swing on my brother. Like, you don't understand. I'm this way and I'm this humble and I'm willing to do this because of the things I've learned. Not because of all the other stuff, because I've been diligent in this Bible. And I understand I'm supposed to help you. You my brother. I'm supposed to, and I want to, but you got to show me some. You got to give me a reason to want to go upstairs and talk to my rib about bringing you in my house. I'm not a Muslim. I'm an Israelite. I'm trying to tell you, you're an Israelite. You're fighting. Keep reading in Ephesians.
Khan.
Go ahead.
Let me jump at 11 or 12.
11.
Khan. This is the book of Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wills of the devil.
Understand something, Israel. That verse is telling you to prepare yourself. This is the game. What game can you turn on and play? It doesn't give you some rules. It doesn't give you some equipment to fight your battle. When you go out there on that football field, on your first day, the coach going to take you in the field house and he's going to say, look here, before you do anything, let me make sure you equip properly. These brothers out here finna try to take your head off. So we need to make sure you can at least go home in one piece tonight.
Come.
What you got to do is get these shoulder pads. When you put these shoulder pads on, all right, this your thumping equipment right here. Put these on right here, and this going to cover all this up. All right, then you need these thigh pads. You know, brothers going to try to aim for your legs. Put these knee pads in, because if you lose these knees, you're going to regret that. And most important, put on this helmet. Put this helmet on. We don't need you getting brain damage. Put this helmet on. They're going to equip you, right? When you go and play baseball, you go up to bat, they're going to give you a helmet. They're going to give you an arm pad. They're going to give you something for your shin on your back, on your front side. They're going to give you everything you need to battle what's coming forth. Well, the Most High tells you what you need to battle what's coming forth too. He gave you equipment. He gave you preparation. He gave you this word. He gave you other things too. He gave you several different things. And go ahead and read that. Ephesians 6 and 13.
Khan. This is the book of Ephesians chapter 6, verse 13. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day.
Hold on. You only need a part of the armor.
The whole armor of God.
Nah, you just need a piece of it, man. That'll get you through. You just need to understand who Christ is.
Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God.
Man, you playing, man. I just need to. The laws are done away with, and I just need to just do whatever I want to do and believe that Christ is going to come back and save me.
Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God.
Keep going.
That ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand.
That you may be able to withstand in the evil day, so that you may be able to actually see what's coming and know how to fight it and be prepared. You can be the last man standing. You can be the last man standing. Tribe of Judah, I don't know what you're talking about, but if you keep on with that, we're gonna put you in timeout. I don't know who that is. Yo, Jacob, if you wanted smoke, you should have got the smoke with Adam on yesterday. We'll take some questions at the end of this, but you're not gonna dictate what we're doing with this show today. You want a link? I'll give you a link. Yeah, here's my link. Log off. Go grab your precepts and study your Bible. All right, we're going to continue to work on this lesson and deal with this lesson that we're dealing with right now. All you naysayers and everything else, y'all gonna wait to the end. And if you can't hold your tongue and hold your spirit while we doing this, brothers can leave. And any admins on here that feel like they're getting a little too out of pocket, you're more than welcome to deal with the problem. If you don't have a question, why you asking for the link? Leave it alone. Keep reading, Barnabas.
Con. 14. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplates of righteousness.
Con. Jacob, post all your precepts in the chat, and then we'll try them and test them there. Read that again, Barnabas.
Con. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplates of righteousness.
The what? The breastplate of what?
Of righteousness.
Okay.
Select that one. Huh? Never mind. I'm gonna let you get yours, but I got precepts for that too.
Go ahead, read it. Bring it out. We're gonna get to
I got Psalms chapter 119, verse 142, and I have Psalms chapter 19, verse 172.
I'm gonna bring out the 142.
Con, I'll put 172.
Con. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness. Go ahead. You want to break it down? Go ahead.
Con. So it's saying having your loins girded about with truth is basically saying that you're having your loins girded about with the commandments or the law. In short, the breastplate of righteousness is pretty much saying the same thing, as just restating it. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119, and verse 172. It says, "My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness." So, of course, you know, that's what that breastplate is going into. You got to have this thing in your chest, and you got to have your loins girded about with it.
That's right. All right, Barnabas, go back to Ephesians 6.
Ephesians 6. Where you want me to jump to?
You have finished 13 up.
Con. Well, I finished 13. I just read 14.
Oh, you just read 14. Read 14 again.
Con. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplates of righteousness.
Jump over 1 Thessalonians 5 and 8.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 8.
Yeah, I think that's what I was looking for.
This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 8. But let us know, Slakia, but let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and helmet, and for an helmet, the hope of salvation. Let me read that again. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 8. Let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet, the hope of salvation.
Let us be sober. To be sober, it means don't have your mind clouded with a lot of doctrine. It also it means don't be drunk, don't be high, don't be all that stuff, but don't be having your mind clouded with a lot of doctrine either. You need to be able to understand what's coming, what's happening. Oh man. Hey Jacob, relax, bro. You need to understand what's going on. You need to be able to think clearly. You can't win this war. You can't win this war that we in if your mind is bogged down by everything that's happening. You can't win. It's not possible. You can't do it. If you're bogged down by the daily tribulations of the world, you bogged down by what everybody got to say about you, you bogged down about everything that's going on in your life, and your mom is agitated with you because you won't come to Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas, and that's bothering you. When you dealing with that, you swear you're gonna be swayed one way or the other. And we know, and it's true, you gotta stand on your square. You gotta be standing firm in what you believe. You gotta gird up thy paps. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be ready to go. You gotta be ready to go. Ready to deal at any moment. In season and out of season. Give me that Yahweh. Give me that out of season.
It's in Colossians. Hold on.
Barnabas, if you can find it, go ahead.
No, I got.
All right.
I got the precept for it. Dang it. I got Colossians 4:6. Hold on. The other one is in Timothy, I want to say.
All right, get them both. Just give me the one I'm looking for right now first, and then
Season and out of season. That should be something.
While you're looking for that, I just want y'all to understand. You have to be able to discern through the situation. You got to look at the situation that's happening and understand. There are times when Israel, like literally, you really have to. Put it this way: there are times when you literally have to check a person for what they're doing, and then there are other times when if you check them, you may make the situation worse because they understand what you're checking them for. And I was in a situation today where the brother that I'm talking to, the drug that he's on and the stuff that he's on, it won't allow him to hear everything that we talking to. So if I just jump on him and I go into these precepts about how you shouldn't be like this, he's not going to receive it. He's going to be agitated. And this is one of my partners. This is one of my friends. I know he don't have no problems throwing hands. So I had to tell him that, just as much as you want to fight, I like to fight too. And I ain't fought in a long time. I'm anxious. My hands be itching. They want to smack somebody. But I need you to correct yourself and check yourself. Because if you don't, I'm going to have to go out of pocket, get out of pocket and do something I'm not supposed to do. And then I'm going to regret it. Go ahead with that precept, Art.
Con, this is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 2. Preach the word. Be instant. In season, out of season. Reprove. Rebuke. Exhort with all long suffering and doctrine.
Go back to the beginning.
It says, preach the word.
Tell your friends what's happening. Tell them when they wrong. Keep going.
Be instant, in season, out of season.
Know when to speak. Know when to talk and when not to talk. Know how to understand the situation, how to let it go. Know when you're going to push too far. And know when this is absolutely what the person needs to hear. Keep going. Read.
Reprove, rebuke, exhort.
Reprove, rebuke, exhort. Make sure that you are gathering, you are dealing with your brother and your sister in a brotherly way, but do not let them feel like they can do any and everything when they in your presence or anything and everything in their life. Rebuke them for the things that they do. Keep reading.
Exhort with all long suffering and doctrine.
It's not going to be easy and it's not going to be short. You're going to have to do this for a while. That's what long suffering means. This is going to take some time to get your doctrine through to them, for them to understand what they're dealing with. This is a mental and a spiritual battle. You're not fighting this person in the flesh. You're fighting this person's spirit. Keep reading.
Verse 3. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, But after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears.
Read that again.
For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears.
Now, I got a brother in my house who, out over time, has decided that he is going to go from dealing drugs to being on the drugs. And now his mind is cloudy. This is a smart brother. This is not a dumb brother. I'm telling y'all this. This is not a dumb brother. This is a smart brother. He understands life and what's happening in his life. He understands it. He knows when I tell him certain things exactly where this is going. He ain't just street smart, he's smart. Read that one more time.
For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears.
Now look, one of the things that he said to me when he was trying to convince me to get him to stay at my house was, I understand. You need to teach me. Maybe you can teach me. I can't teach you if you're not willing to if you're not willing to listen. To be taught, you got to be able to be humble. Israel, to teach, you got to learn how to be humble. Like if you're going to teach somebody, you first have to show the ability to learn something from somebody. You first have to be able to say, hey, look, this is not working. I need better in my life. You got to go to your leadership. You got to find somebody that you trust that can actually administer some guidance to your life. The same way that we, as brothers and sons of, we trust our elders. If something happens, we can call our elders. I called one of my elders today. In tears, I'm crying. Like, this is my brother. I don't know what to do. This is my brother. I see him in a destitute state. I'm trying to get him out of it, but I don't know how. I can't let him stay here. I got kids. I can't take the chance of him losing his mind, flipping out. He on something, and he go through, withdrawal. And I come home from work, and it's a bloody mess. He done went off on my rib and my kids, and you know what I'm saying. And I got to deal with this. I can't take that chance. I still got a family to deliver. I still got a family that I got to uphold and take care of. What am I supposed to do in it? I'm praying while I'm talking to him, like, Father, please help me. Most I don't get it. I don't get it. Why do I have this test? I'm preparing for the night. Why I got this test? He had to answer though. Oh, you got this test because you ain't strong enough. You got to get stronger. You got to get better. Keep reading, Barnabas. Hold on, Shalom. Were you done with that, Yahweh?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, Barnabas. You muted,
Salakia.
All right.
Like I said, I don't know if you wanted this precept now or later. The 1 Timothy 5:8, since you was talking about dealing with your family.
Go ahead, read it.
This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 8. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own household, like you was talking about just now, like you have something to deal with. You had to worry about your family.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't really sit back into, okay, well, you know what? I know you for years, so I'm gonna take that risk just because I know you from back then. I have to worry about what's going on now. You know what I mean? From a visual point of view, you know what I mean? Because you're trying to teach your family the right way, especially dealing with these nations. You know what I mean? Because they seeing certain things from a visual and from the spiritual, where you're dealing with a brother. You know what I mean? So that was important. Like I said, and he that denied the faith is worse than an infidel. So if he was to deny basically what it is you're learning, you know what I mean? You just gonna sit right back, like you said. The devil know what he was doing when he brought that brother over there. You know what I mean? Because just like in Job, you know what I mean, he also get the Most High permission. You know what I'm saying? But yet he knew what he was going to touch. He couldn't touch Job, but he had to touch other stuff. So he bring this brother because he know this brother is gonna be some close to you. You know what I mean? To kind of shake you up.
Right.
But you know, you stay strong, King. So
I'm trying to.
So go to Ephesians.
Nah. Go to Isaiah. We still in chapter, verse 14. So go to Isaiah 59 and 15 real quick.
Isaiah 59 and 15.
I got it.
Okay, go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 59 and verse 15.
Check it out.
Yeah, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey.
If you decide you're gonna come into this truth and you leave what you used to, you make yourself a prey. A prey to who? The devil. You gonna get chased. You gonna get chased. Go ahead, y'all. You got something to say?
That reminds me of Sirach 2 and 1.
Sirach 2 and 1. Hey, get it, Barnabas, real quick. But you make yourself. You make yourself. You put yourself out there. The devil and Satan not bothered with, you know what I'm saying, brothers, that you lukewarm, the Most High gonna spit you out. So the devil not worried about that. He not even really, if you all the way out there, he just gonna make sure you all the way out there. He gonna make sure you stay there. He gonna keep presenting you. If you a person that like the snort cocaine, then he gonna keep making sure cocaine is prevalent in your life. There's no reason for him to actually make sure you're not in the truth. He just gotta make sure you stay far enough away from the truth that you never even know what it. Keep going, yeah, here.
And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment.
There was no judgment. My brother, with everything that he's dealt with and done in his life, he's trying to figure out exactly why am I in this situation? How come the people that put this on me and that did this to me are not being judged? All right. What verse is that?
15.
Keep going.
Verse 16. And he saw that there was no man and wondered that there was no intercessor.
Hold on. Now we need an intercessor. We got to have an intercessor. Somebody's got to come and step in for us.
Therefore, his arm brought salvation unto him, and his righteousness, it sustained him.
Ooh. All right, Israel. I'm gonna wait for y'all to put this in the chat. How did we get that? Whose arm gave us salvation? Where did that come from?
Y'all better beat me.
Where did that come from? Whose arm gave us that? This is Isaiah. Can anybody tell me that? Okay, Phoenix Storm. All right. Okay. Octaves. Yep. Princes of the Power. Yeah, there you go. Khan. Yahweh Shai. Keep reading now.
Khan. For he put on righteousness as a breastplate and a helmet of salvation upon his head.
We talking about this breastplate again? We in Isaiah. We was talking about the breastplate in the New Testament. We in Isaiah now. What you mean we talk about a breastplate, man? Read that again.
Khan. For he put on righteousness as a breastplate.
Wow.
And hold on, keep all right.
So keep going.
And helmet of salvation upon his head.
A helmet of salvation upon his head. We're gonna get to that helmet of salvation. We're gonna touch on that helmet of salvation in a quick little minute. All right. Go back, Barnabas. Keep reading in Ephesians.
Are you 15?
Khan.
And your feet should with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
Hold on. Salakia, slow down. Read it again so the people can understand it.
Khan. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 15. And your feet should with The preparation of the gospel of peace.
With what?
The preparation of the gospel of peace.
Give me Romans 10 and 15. And then Yahweh, give me Isaiah 52 and 7.
Okay.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 15. And how shall they preach, except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace, and bring glad tidings and good things. Salaki.
Read that one more time before
Khan.
we get to this other precept.
Romans chapter 10, verse 15. And how shall they preach, except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace, and bring glad tidings of good things.
Now we want to understand what the gospel is, and we want to understand what it's telling us. Go ahead, Yahweh. Read that precept.
Khan, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 52 and verse 7. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, and publisheth peace, that bringeth good.
Keep going. Now go ahead. Keep going.
That publisheth peace, that bringeth good tidings of good, that publisheth salvation, that saith unto Zion, thy God reigneth.
Oh, we want to put on that helmet of salvation, huh? There it is. New Testament and Old, speaking the same. That's another one for y'all that say, Paul was just speaking out of his own mouth. Sorry. These brothers were speaking out of the Old Testament. They were speaking what they read, what they knew. That's another cut for y'all. Y'all keep thinking Paul was talking out of his own. No, Paul didn't change a damn thing. Paul was reading what he knew. He read the same things he heard Yahushua reading. That's for all y'all that want to talk that extra stuff like Paul supersedes Christ and all this other stuff. Y'all tripping with that. Y'all on some other stuff with that one. Go back to Ephesians.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, one more precept. Just to hammer that same point home real quick.
Knock it out.
This is the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 15. Behold, upon the mountains, the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publisheth peace, O Judah. Keep thy solemn feast, perform thy vows, for the wicked shall no more pass through thee. He is utterly cut off.
Ooh, break it down.
It's literally saying the exact same thing, but the thing that got me was it says, keep thy solemn feast, perform thy vows. Now, if you know the history, then when you read Exodus 24, verses 1 through 8, Moses, we literally made a blood covenant with the Most High. And we agreed to do everything that he commanded us. Moses sprinkled the blood on the tablets, sprinkled the blood on the people. We said all these words that the Most High has spoken, we will hear and do. That included those feasts and those commandments that he gave us. I yield.
That's right. That's right. All right, let's go back to Ephesians and get verse 16. But we still want to know, we got to be completely armored up for this. This ain't no regular battle. You can't just walk into this fight and say, yo, I'm ready to go. If you got a good coach, he gonna look at you and say, yo, you only got your shoulder pads on. Where your thigh pads and your knee pads at? You missing something. Read.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 16. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
How do we show faith? By the works, by keeping the commandments. That's how you show faith. You're showing faith in the Most High when you keep the commandments. You're hoping that He's going to honor you for keeping His word. You're showing faith that by doing this, he's going to acknowledge me, and that I'm going to be able to see the kingdom at some point. That's faith. Octave said, Octave said, these are your works. This is your proof. This is your proof, people. You think that works are just there to be there? Faith without works is dead. Storm. Faith without works is dead. You think it's just there to be there? Nah, it's a testament to who you are and what you've done. It's your. Hold on 1 second. It's your way to be able to show and prove to the Most High. Hey, look, I've been putting in some work, man. Yeah, I know I'm not perfect, but I got a track record. I've been doing it. I believe in you and what you said. Go ahead, Barnabas. What you was going to bring up?
I was just saying, they say the proof is in the pudding, but this would be the proof is in the work.
Right. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be acknowledged and admonished for what you did, for how you lived, because it's harder than everybody else. And we're going to get into that in just a second. Keep reading Ephesians though.
And 17. And you want me to read over 16?
Finish 16.
I'm gonna start from the top. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
All the fiery darts. Everything he shoot at you, everything he send your way, you be able to quench it.
17.
Read.
And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God.
Take the what?
Take the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God.
Hold on a second. I gotta ask a question. Like, when we say the helmet of salvation, do people understand what that means? Do people get what the helmet of salvation really is? Like, y'all understand that we're not saved yet anyway. So when he says the helmet of salvation, it's your faith and belief that you're going to be saved because you upheld it. You've done everything righteously. Let me see Romans 10 and 15. I think that's what I want.
This is the book of Romans 10, verse 15. We read that earlier. You want to read it again?
No. Go to Isaiah 49 and 2. That's
what.
And then Yahweh, go to Hosea 6 and 5.
You said this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
They shall not hunger nor thirst.
49 and 2.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 2. And he had made my mouth like a sharp sword.
Like a what?
And he had made my mouth like a sharp sword.
Keep going.
In the shadow of his hand had he hid me, and made me a polished shaft.
He made you like a sword. Why did he make you like a sword? Yeah, what does he mean by a sword? Now we understand that. Yeah, how is Shah gonna have a sword when he come back? But what is his sword?
The word of God.
Kind. So give me Hosea 6 and 5. What does Hosea 6 and 5 say?
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 6 and verse 5. Therefore have I showed them by the prophets. I have slain them by the words of my mouth. And thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth.
Thy what? Thy judgments are as the light. Read the whole verse again. One more time.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 6 and verse 5. Therefore have I showed them by the prophets. I have slain them by the words of my mouth. And thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth.
This word is the sword. You can do a lot of damage with this word, man.
Con.
A lot of things with this word. By staying humble and teaching this word and being in this word, you can do a lot of damage. You can cut a lot of people with this word. A lot of people, man. This is what we here to do. This is the thing we got to understand. This is what we got to learn about living and dealing with Israel. It's easy to condemn your brother. It's easy to shut him out. It's easy to tell him he wicked. It's hard to tell him that and then tell him you love him behind it. And show him real love after that. Because you know what you got to do once you tell him that? You got to give him a better way. You got to give him a solution. You got to give him something to change. You got to make him better. You got to prepare him for the game. Now you became the star athlete and the new guy coming up that might be better than you. You got to choose. You're going to be a Julio Jones and you're going to teach him, you know, hey, look, yo, you run this out route, you know, got to be prepared for him to jump it. So be ready to cut back up and turn this into a fade. You know what I'm saying? Or you're going to be a Dez Bryant. I ain't teaching nobody under me, man. All my tricks is for me. I ain't telling nobody nothing. What you going to do? One's going to be successful, the other one going to get kicked out the league. Which one you want to be? Which one are you? And I'm a Dallas fan, so I'll just let you know. Like, all right, Dez Bryant. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just is what it is. It just is what it is, man. All right, go back to Ephesians. Let's finish that out. Did we finish that out? Yeah, go to 18. Let me read 18.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the
Keep praying, Israel. Keep praying, Israel. Don't never praying, man. That's your link. That's your connection. Yeah. I Rob, you can just eat that. You know, I'm a Dallas fan. You ain't gotta like it. So,
you know you was gonna say something.
Right. Hey, read that one more time. No, read it one more time.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 17. And take the 18. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the spirit.
In the spirit. In the spirit. Stay connected to the Most High. Stay connected to what's going on. Some way you gonna survive out here. Keep reading.
And watching thereunto with all perseverance.
Watch what's going on with you. Happening around you. It didn't say take action, jump on everybody and beat everybody down. Watch what's happening around you. Keep reading.
And watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
For who?
For all saints.
Nah, for everybody in the world.
For all saints.
Now, y'all who are the saints?
You know he was getting it.
I'm gonna put definitely. You want Psalms 50 and 5, or you want Psalms 148:14?
I want you to show the people who the saints are.
The saints of Israel. All right. First one I got is the book of Psalms, chapter 50 and verse 5.
It's straight out.
Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Now, who did we establish made a covenant with the Most High by sacrifice in the wilderness earlier? Israel. Now, you can also go to Psalms 148 and 14.
I'll bring it out. I got it.
Got it? Con.
This is the book of Psalms 148 and 14. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Lord.
Read that one more time. Read it one more time.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 148, verse 14. He also exalted the horn of his people.
Of who?
Of his people.
Oh, yeah. The whole entire globe.
His people.
Keep reading.
the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel.
Even of who?
Even of the children of Israel.
So I guess that means that Israel is the saints. Yes,
That's right.
Let's go ahead and close the book. But just for to add on to that, go to Psalms 50 and 5.
Khan. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 50, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
Who made the covenant, Israel?
Israel.
Who made the covenant? Ain't no whole world thing. Who made the covenant? We made the covenant.
That's right.
No covenant. Moab didn't make no covenant. Ishmael didn't make no covenant. He tried to put himself in on some whole other stuff. Ishmael didn't make no covenant. We make that covenant, Israel. This is our fight, our battle, our job. It's what we gotta do, and it starts at home. You gotta fix home first. That's why they're your first adversary.
God precept.
That's why they're your strongest adversary, because that's your weak point. That's who you gonna give up the most to. You're gonna give. If it's anybody that's gonna make you bend and break, it's gonna be the people that's at your house that you close to. It's gonna be them. So with that being said, how do we win this battle? How we win this war? How we understand that? Jump back to Ephesians 6 and 12. First, you got to understand what the game is again.
Khan. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
What?
But against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world.
Break that scripture down one time for them, Yahweh. Break it down.
So basically, our weapons it's not a carnal fight with us. Everything, well, especially with our people that we have to teach and get back into the fold, our family first. Yeah, you're gonna have some of them try to fight you, but it's not really about that. It's about trying to get us back into repentance and trying to get us back into a righteous lifestyle as a nation of people. So we can't always be quick to want to punch somebody in the face because they're disrespectful. Sometimes we got to endure and be long suffering.
That's right. I'm glad you said long suffering. Because it take a little bit of time. But you got to control your spirit. You got to be able to control yourself. Right? You got to be able to control everything. We talk about this, and I said we talk about this is like a game. Like we play a game right now. You dealing with oppression. You dealing with adversaries like we said last week that look like you. Adversaries, agents among us. Agents, people that could be out here to hurt you and be nice to you at the same time. You know what I'm saying? You dealing with that. It's all just running through my mind at the same time as well. All right. Jump over to 1 Corinthians 9 and 25.
Okay. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 25. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate.
Every man that striveth for the mastery is what?
Is temperate.
It's temperate. Keep reading.
Khan, in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corrupt. Salaki, let me read it from the top. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corporate Salaki, a corruptible crown. I say it in my head. Corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible.
All right. Now. All right. So And as I say this, that brother that I'm talking about is calling my phone. Now, I'm going to read this same thing. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to read this same thing for y'all. I'm going to read this for y'all in an NIV version. Just so y'all can see this. All right. Let's see if I can zoom this in a little bit. All right. So everyone who competes in the games, not into strict training, they do it to get a crown that will not last. But we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Right? Let's go to the New Living Translation. All athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away. But we do it for an eternal prize. Okay? Understanding that, you should understand, like, it literally said an athlete's going to train to win. You're the athlete. You should be training to win.
Con.
You don't want to lose. I used to be a sore loser. I used to hate losing. So I couldn't stand it. So I had to get better. I had to get stronger. I had to get better in the precepts. Back in the days when I played football, I would run all day. I would run hundreds, 40s, 60s, whatever it took to get faster. I needed to know that I could beat the next man off the line and keep him behind me. I just run all day. Coach say, hey, you got to catch 100 balls before you leave. I'm catching 100 balls before I leave.
Con.
I'm a wide receiver, so catching the ball is the most fun part of the game to me. I'm catching 100 balls before I leave. How many brothers willing to stand out there on the corner and punches and these body bag blows scoffers every Saturday? You willing to do that? You willing to consistently tell your family that these feasts, these wicked holidays are evil? Are you willing to stand up and say, you know what, I'm not just going to say it. I'm just not going to celebrate it. Y'all can do whatever you want. I'm just not going to celebrate it every year. You willing to take that blow from your family when they cut you off because they think you in a cult? You willing to do it?
We live in that.
Brothers in SOT are willing to do it. We ready to go. We ready to go. You got to always be ready. Always be ready. It's not a game. Like, you got to always want to do this, man. 2 Timothy 2:5. Go ahead.
Hold on, I got some those who say that Israelites are a cult and they always want to say that we're in a cult. Do you mind if I share my screen real quick?
Go ahead.
Got it. All right. So this is the book of Acts, chapter 24 and verse 14 in the New Living Translation.
I don't even see. I don't see your.
Y'all can see it? All right. It says, "But I admit that I follow the way which they call a cult. I worship the God of our ancestors, and I firmly believe the Jewish law and everything written in the prophets." So for those who say we're a cult, yeah, you're right. But you can't spell cult without. You can't even spell culture without the word cult. That's the root word of it.
Bring it out.
Right. That's right. That's right. Give me that 2 Timothy 2:5.
Con. This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 5. When I call to remembrance the unfringed faith that is in thee, which dwell first in thy grandmother, Lord, and thy mother, Eunice. And I am persuaded that in thee also.
Just 2 Timothy 2:5. Let me make sure that's right.
No, that was 1 and 5. Salakia.
Yeah, give me 2 and 5.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 5. And if a man also strive for masteries,
For
yet
what?
for
Strive for what?
masteries, strive for masteries.
Strive for masteries. You're striving to be the best that you can be in this word, Israel. You're striving to show the Most High that when He made that choice to choose you, that was a righteous act. He made the right choice. You want to master this word. You want to master this truth. You want to master this life. The way you master this is living it out, being a light for everybody else in your nation. That's the only way you touch the other nations. You get your nation and bring them back to the truth. So what I ended up having to do with my friend was sit him down. When he got rid of all his anger, all his animosity, all that pain, and all that hurt that he had, and tell him, I'm a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah. Right? You're a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah. We got to sit down and break down these curses. Luckily, he gave me enough time to break down a couple of the curses before he ran off. But I did enough that I could be satisfied that I know when he go home, he got to read this because I saw the look on his face. He was confounded. How the hell are you this calm and you know this? We grew up in the church. Me and him grew up in church together. We both don't like going to church. We both have problems with the teachers in church. So he knew when I pulled out that Bible and I started talking, guess what? I found something that we didn't know back then. He couldn't fight it. He had to accept it, and he had to. If he couldn't fight it and he wasn't going to accept it, he did what everybody else does. We see it every Saturday. He ran.
Tuck tail and ran.
He forgot about needing somewhere to stay. He forgot about all that. He forgot about his rib needing somewhere to stay. Now he can't deal with what's being taught to him. He got to go. Which is going to make you mad, Israel. You trying to help somebody. They got to run. Got to get out of here. Man, it hurts too. I had tears in my eyes when I was talking to this man. It hurt. He wasn't going to accept it. Man, this is my brother. He ain't accepting this. It's painful. It's painful. But I understood something at the end of the day. I understood something when it all came down to it. I'm fighting for a victory. I'm fighting for a W. I want to win. And I can't be controlled. I can't govern what's going to happen to the next man. My salvation is permanent. My salvation is what matters. Saving me and my family. I can't make that man do it. It ain't on me. It ain't on me. So for the victory, how we win this game, give me Luke 13-24.
You say Luke what?
13-24.
13-24. This is the book of Luke, chapter 13, verse 24. Strive to enter in at the straight gate.
You want to be many. One of the very few, the ones that kept it, that kept the promises and the covenants, both of them, old and new. Both. You did your best. You tried your hardest. You let the Most High understand. Hey, look, I understand. I can't do them all. I'm in this wicked country, and then some of this is borderline illegal. I can't do them all, but I'm gonna try. And you showed him. You came to the feast. You upheld the feast days. You did everything that you can do. When you saw a brother that was destitute, you went out and you got him something. If it was clothes or just some food, you did everything you can do, Israel. You showed the Most High, hey, look, I am willing, even if it hurts me and I gotta cry about it, I'm willing to help this man. I'm willing to help this sister. I'm willing to do the best that I can to be the best person that I can be. That's all you're asking of me, Most High. That's all I'm gonna do. That's all I can do. Keep reading.
Strive to enter in at the straight gate. For many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able.
Many of them gonna try to get through that gate. It's gonna be a lot of people trying to get through where you going through it. They didn't keep the holy days. They didn't keep the commandments. They was Christians sitting in the church worshiping Christ on the cross and thinking, hey, look, I can do as I will. I do whatever I want. I can live however I feel like I want to live. God knows my heart. Jesus gonna forgive me. He my lawyer. I want you to go to court and I want you to tell the lawyer that's defending you, yeah, I did it. I killed everybody in the room. Everybody. But I don't deserve to be locked up. You gotta keep me free. Watch how that lawyer turn you in. Like, nah, he said he did it. It's over with. I'm done. You will have a public defender. And the public defender gonna be looking at you like, I'm just trying to get this check. I ain't worried about that. I'll give you kid. You can't do that in the natural, in the physical setting. What makes you think that Yahweh Shah gonna be having your back? He is your defense attorney, man. How he gonna have your back? You ain't never did nothing to show him like I'm trying to live like you. You think Christ walked through the streets every day and literally was going, hey, look, hey, it doesn't matter. I forgive you. Yeah, I know you're gonna steal my money later, but hey, come to my tent. I got you. No, he's looking at them brothers like, yo, you need prayer. I'm gonna pray for you, and you gotta accept this prayer, and you gotta believe on it that you're gonna be healed, or you're gonna still be in this, but you're gonna be in it by yourself, because I ain't gonna be here.
Come.
This might be your only chance. Israel gotta learn how to present themselves in that same package. So with that, that's my portion of the lesson tonight. Israel, that's the devil in the game, man. The game is to take you off your throne. The game is to take you away from being who you are. The devil will walk in your house and throw everything at you and use all your emotions against you. You got to get strong enough not to allow it to happen.
Come.
You got to make yourself a better person. Because it don't matter what we do if we just going to turn around and go right back to what we were doing before. Out your system, like Adam Akarov says. Get leaven out your system. Become a new man. Be a new man. Be a new sister. Y'all got beefs with people. Hey, do the best you can to iron out that beef with somebody. But when it's over with and they don't accept it, move on. The end result of my situation today was having to tell my brother, you can't stay here, man. I can't have somebody that's on drugs in the house with my kids. It's just a matter of time before you lose your mind and do something that's not right. But here, take this money. Take this. Hopefully this is enough to get you an extended stay where you can at least have a week in a hotel room. He left the clothes, but he took the shoes. I tried to do the best that I could to make sure my brother was exactly where he needed to be right now. What he does with it after that, that's on him. I'm free and clear.
Come.
So with that, I just wanted to give y'all a little bit. This is just personal. This is just men speaking as men. I've already gone through the precepts that I had to read to calm myself down. I gave y'all what I had to deal with. There's no difference. That's exactly what I read. Keep myself humble. This is exactly what you guys need to understand. Don't give up on your friends, but don't allow them to drag you down with them, all right?
Come.
With that, that's my part of the lesson. Now we got another little tidbit for y'all real quick before we get up off of here. The brother Yahweh has agreed to actually give y'all a quick lesson in Hebrew. And we're going to start with the milk from the basics. We're going to actually break down some of the alphabet tonight. So I hope you brothers enjoy. I'm going to turn it over to him. I hope everyone enjoys this in Israel. I'm going to turn it over to him. Yahweh, you got the floor.
Come.
Khan at one. Y'all still hear that?
We hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Khan. All right. So basically, just like with any language, you first have to understand the basics. You have to understand the letters, the characters, the rules, the sounds they make. And with Hebrew, it's like that, but with Hebrew, you also have words that are attached to every letter. And y'all will see what I mean in a minute. Each letter also has a numerical value itself. So, all right, first letter we're gonna start off with is A. ah. This is how you write it. This is how it sounds. It literally sounds. Every letter that y'all see like this, I'm gonna write it exactly how it sounded. This is the numerical value. Its numerical value is 1. It comes from the Hebrew word alap. This is how you write alap in the Hebrew. And it basically means cattle or string. In the modern Hebrew, you might see it aleph. That would be how it's pronounced. This is also where the Greeks get their alphabet from as well. They later on took our Hebrew alphabet and adopted it and twisted it around a little bit. And that's how you get, like, the same way you'll see we have alap. And then you have Bayah is the same way that they get alpha and then beta. All right. So that's how you write that. Make sure y'all can see that. It means cattle or string. Now, one thing that you'll also know is that the reason that these characters are written how they're written is because this is based off of what Adam actually saw when he actually started speaking. Because before we had actual written language, everything was spoken in words. So, yeah. So the Hebrew word alap is made up from the ah, the la, and the pa. And those words themselves, I mean, those characters themselves have their own words that they're attached to. And we'll get into those in a little bit. All right. So the next word is going to be ba. The next character, so it's going to be ba. That's how you write a B or a ba in Hebrew. Its numerical value is 2, and it comes from the word bayah. Now, typically, the way that we write our Hebrew today, it wouldn't necessarily look, it would look more like this if you were looking at an old manuscript, or if you even look at the Lost Lunar Stone in New Mexico. Y'all can Google that. It's called the Lost Lunas Decalogue Stone, and it's in Los Lunas, New Mexico. And basically, that's how you actually spell it. And it means tent or house or dwelling place. All right. Next, we have the Ga. So that's how you write that. That's how you write the Ga. Its numerical value is 3. And the word, this word right here is this word. It's Gamal or camel. Because when Adam, he saw a camel hump. So that's pretty much what he drew. All right.
Salakia.
Next you have
Salakia.
Huh.
Make sure just raise the book up a little higher so they can see the bottom word too. Especially for that first one, it kind of went kind of fast. So let's kind of make sure you hold up a little higher.
Salakia. All right. So for the ah or alap, it means strength or oxen or cattle. Here we have the word dala, or the da sound, or the D. So this is how they get alpha, beta, gamma, delta. If you know the Greek alphabet, I don't know. Some of y'all pledged fraternities or sororities in the past life. So, this is where they get all of that from. Numerical value is 4, and you have the da, the la, and the tha that make up the word dala, and it literally means door. It's the door to the house or the tent. All right. Some of y'all are probably looking like, how would you get that from there? Because this will be the door. Y'all have to excuse my drawing. I'm not the best artist. But you would have the door right here. You have the tent. And yeah, so that's the door to the tent. The door to the house. Next, you have the ha. Its numerical value is 5. And that is how you write that character. Ha means to reveal. Another way I also remember this is I see this character as ah, and this character is ha. So it's kind of like you saying aha when you have something revealed to you and you finally get it. See what I'm saying? Next, we have the wa. Now in modern Hebrew, modern Hebrew or Yiddish, this is replaced with a V, the Va sound. Or it can be replaced with the U, the Ur, or the U sound. So like whenever somebody tries to say the Most High's name is Yahuwah, what really happened was they added vowels to the actual language. And they replaced the Wa with the Ur sound. So instead of it being Yahweh, it's now Yahuwah. Its numerical value is 6. Now, sometimes whenever we write Hebrew, like if we're writing Hebrew, practicing our Hebrew, today we write like a little connector at the bottom. With this, I messed that up. This will be the Wa and the Wa. That's how you pronounce it. Wawa, it means tent peg or secure hook. So like, somebody said something?
Nah, keep going.
So it's like, this will really be what's holding, or it can also be a fish hook as well. Because like, think about it. You see, if you have like the fishing line, then you have the 2 hooks or whatever. Of course, nowadays it will be faced the other way, but that was the original way it was written. So it also can mean to secure, because this is what you would use to secure your tent to keep it from blowing away. Like if any of y'all have ever set up a tent, which I know if you kept tabernacles, you had to put something in the ground to keep the wind from blowing your tent over. Same thing. All right. Next we have the Za. And no, this is not the same Za for all you wicked brews out there either. Inside it. Its value is 7. And it comes from the word Zion. The word Zion comes from the Za, the Ya, and the Na. Now, at the end of each Hebrew word, we don't keep the I part most times. Usually it's a Hebrew saying that it's absorbed in a breath. So instead of saying Zayana, we'll say Zayan. All right. And it means Zayan can mean weapon, or it can be used for a farming tool. All right. Next we have the Ka, or the Cha. So like if y'all ever hear us when we're doing the Lord's Prayer in the ancient Hebrew, and you hear us say Nathan Lunawa Lacham, which means give to us bread. That's what you're actually hearing. You're not hearing, or we say Lacham, or if somebody says Shabar Lacham, which means break bread. Now, its numerical value is 8. And this is how it is written. It is the Cha. So you have the Tha. This is the Tha sound right here. We'll get to that in a minute, but it means wall or to divide. Next, we have the Ta. Its numerical value is 9. And this is how you write it. It is Ta. And it can be like a pot, it can mean clay, it can mean vessel, or it can mean to store. And that's one thing you'll also learn about each Hebrew word. It has multiple meanings to it. And that same concept was also adopted into English. That's why English words have figurative meaning. Next, you have the Ya. And of course, if you've seen somebody write the name of the Most High, you've seen this first. Now, you read Hebrew from right to left. So, which makes plenty of sense too, because even when you think about it, if you look at it's interesting that Hebrew also reads from right to left, because it's like it's also kind of going along with nature. Like, think about it: the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And if you're looking at a map, if you're looking at a 2D map, what's to the right? East. What's to the left? West. Same thing. All right. But its numerical value is 10. And it means yad. It's the yad. It's the ya and the da. So, of course, that's how it would be spelled. Well, this is the yad, or in modern Hebrew, what they would say yod. And it means head or arm. Also, side note, you'll also realize that the Hebrew alphabet is in Psalms 119. It's just written in modern Hebrew. But to help y'all actually follow along, if you're actually trying to follow along, you can go to Psalms 119 and it'll explain that. I mean, you'll see it as well. You'll see the similarities.
So, hey, let Barnabas read Psalms 119 so they can get that link while you on here.
Psalms 119 and what?
It's all of the different letters through it. As soon as you go to Psalms 119, you'll see it, because you'll see the Aleph, and then the Bet, and then Gimel, and then Dalet.
You talking about reading Psalms 119 in the Hebrew?
No. That's how Psalms 119 would be. Like if you're reading it in your King James Bible, you would see each of in that
over the chapters.
Right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying now?
Okay, come on. I see what you're saying. Don't worry about reading it.
Now, also about the Yah or the Yod is where the Greeks get the iota from. So when you look at an older Bible, like if you have a 1611, for instance, like mine is worn down. If you have a 1611, you might see an I where normally there would be a J. The reason for that is because that's the Greco-Roman letter that they used to substitute for the Y. The J wasn't added until 1524 by an Italian named Gian Giorgio Tricio. He was an Italian grammatician, I think. I think that's what he's actually called. But it means hand or arm. Then you have the word ka. I mean, you have the letter ka, or where they get the K from, clearly. And it means its numerical value is 20. So, like when you're dealing with Hebrew, the numerical value goes 1, 2. It doesn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It doesn't do that. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 200, 300, 400. But y'all will see that eventually. All right. And it comes from the word kap, which means palm of hand. It's like the palm of your hand. So if you can imagine looking at this, it kind of looks like the lines on your actual hand. And it's comprised, the two characters that make up this word is the ka and the pa. All right. Next, you have the la, or where you get the L from. And as y'all, of course, y'all can see, y'all are looking at all of these characters, and you see a lot of similarities to the English language. Well, the English language is comprised of, I want to say Hebrew, Latin, Greek, and it's another Germanic language, a Germanic or a Slavic tongue. But those languages actually make up the English language as we know it today. And you can see all of those similarities. So you have the L or the La. Its numerical value is 30. And this is how you will write it. It is Lamad or Lamed. And you would see it's staff or to learn. That's literally what it means. And I think about this as well because the Hebrew word for El, or I mean, the Hebrew word for God is El or Allah, singular, which means power. So it's funny because when you think of how the Most High said that he would make Moses a god unto Pharaoh, what did he send Moses with, aside from the tablets? He sent him with a staff.
Yeah.
Khan.
Now, what do a lot of us brothers have? Staffs. I can't make this up. All right, so now you have the Ma. Now, that's how you would write the M or the Ma character in the Hebrew. Its numerical value is 40. And it comes from the Hebrew word mayam. Now, do y'all notice anything about this word mayam? Sounds like a group of people.
Mayan.
Exactly. Now we know the Mayans to be the tribe of Zebulon, right?
Huh.
Now, what was Zebulon's guild? Zebulon would be a haven of ships. So Zebulon will be able to sail over the water, right?
Yeah, seafaring.
Hebrew is a concrete language. It's a primitive. It's a real concrete language. It's to the point. Now, when you look at the word Mayan, it also will tell you, if you look it up on Google right now, it'll tell you that it's a variation of the word Mayam or Mem. Can't make this up. Even our forefathers coming over here, they still gave themselves particular names to help you identify who they actually were, or it has something to do with their blessing or an attribute that they give.
Hold on, Salaki. I want all you Negro only doctrine Hebrew Israelite to explain what he just said to me. How is it that we have a whole nother group that ain't supposed to be us with all of this historical evidence for them and part of their names? How does that happen if it's just, oh yeah, we if you don't look like us, you know what I'm saying, you're not part of it. How did they get all of that? Explain. I want anybody can come on here next week and explain that to me. Explain that. How did they get all that? Keep going on.
Brothers got to deal with that. But on another note, we've been separated for over 2,000 years. Some of y'all don't even recognize y'all cousins after 5 or 10 years. You don't recognize your cousins after 2,000 years at the intermediate with other people. Okay.
They ain't ready.
Yeah, but you have, so the next character is the Na or the N. This is how you write the N. So notice how the N is written in English and notice how it's written in Hebrew. And peep how the M is written and how the Ma is written. See, it's an extra, it's even in the same, they real life copied everything we did. Its numerical value is 50. That is how it comes from the word nan, which means seed, and that is how you would write it in the Hebrew. The next word we have is sa. This is how you would write that character in the Hebrew. This is the original, this is the numerical value, and it comes from the Hebrew word samak, which means support or thorn. So if you can visualize, look at a rose with thorns on it, without the actual petals or whatever. You will still see the stem with the thorns poking out on the side. This also kind of looks like, I guess if you had a stick figure, it would look like a spine with like the rib cage and everything that's supposed to support the back. All right. So I'm trying to make sure y'all can still see. All right, so you have the I. This is how you write the I in Hebrew. Literally. And those of y'all, don't act like when y'all were young and y'all couldn't draw like that y'all didn't write y'all eyes like this. You're not gonna even go there. You're not gonna even play. I've been him. All right. So this numerical value is 70, and it comes from the Hebrew word ayun. That is how you write the Hebrew word ayun in Hebrew.
Salakia, what is the significance of the numerical value? Like, explain that to the people. What's the significance of the numerical value?
When you get into like the numerical value of certain words, sometimes they'll add up and they'll have extra meanings to them. Like, for example, the word kawakma is the Hebrew word for wisdom. And the numerical value of kawakma is 613. Now, what do we know to have 613 that's supposed to be our wisdom and sight in the other nation?
Bring it out. Bring it out. The Most High is amazing, man.
He's a mastermind. You don't do anything by purpose. I'm telling you, it's divine nav. And it's funny that I say it's divine nav because that's the Hebrew word for truth. It's Amah.
All right, keep going.
We'll get into that on a later date. This is the pop. So that's how you would write it. It looks like, if you can picture somebody talking, or me talking, it looks kind of like somebody's mouth open from the side. Its numerical value is 80, and it comes from the Hebrew word pa, which literally means mouth. That's how you would write it. Pa and the ha. Next, we have the tazah. So a lot of times when you see the character in English, if you read the Bible, if you see the word like, if you see a word and it has a CH in it, or if it has a Z in it, like for instance, Zadok in the English Bible is Tazadak in the Hebrew. Mm-hmm. Or what's another one? Melchizedek. We know it's spelled. We know how to say it in English, but in the Hebrew it's Malak Tazadak, which means King of Righteousness. So its numerical value, the numerical value for Taza is 90, and it comes from the Hebrew word Tazad, and it means out of side. Now, also, another thing that you can point out is there is another group of indigenous people called the Aztecs, or the Aztec Mexicans, and their original team was called the Nahuatl language. So, when you look at the Nahuatl language, there's a character, and they're not the only ones. I want to say the Awe in West Africa also had the same character in there. If you examine the alphabets of the tribes in the coastal West Africa, as well as the tribes over here, you'll notice that they have a lot of the same characteristics, but they not brothers. Stop it. When you look at it in the Nahuatl language, it's not a TZ, it's a TS instead, but it still makes the exact same sound. So next we have the quaf, or the quap. And this is how you write this. Looks like a Q, doesn't it? It's supposed to be the Q. And this is how you write a Q in Hebrew, basically. And you see it means covering, comes from the Hebrew word quap. Its numerical value is 100. But one thing that you notice, if this means covering, doesn't this kind of look like an umbrella?
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all bear with me. We only got 3 more letters. All right, we have the Ra in Hebrew. That's how you write that. Or the R, as we would look at it in English. Its numerical value is 200, and it comes from the Hebrew word Ra'ash, which means head. We can also look at the same character, for instance, because of Reuben. In the Hebrew, it's Rawaban, which means first son. Like Ra means like head. Ban is like he was like the head son. He was the firstborn. Actually, it's the firstborn son because ban is actually the Hebrew word for son. All right. So now we have the son. This is how you write the Shah. Its numerical value is 300. And that is how it is written. The Shun is the T. And if you could imagine how in our childhood doodling days, if you're drawing something with a mouth and you draw with with the little shark teeth or whatever, that's the only way I know how to explain it. When you would draw like back in the days and you would draw your little stick figure and you draw his mouth or whatever, you want to show that he has teeth. You don't always draw him straight how you're supposed to. You draw him like this. You zigzag.
Got a little feedback.
Stop. Nope, it's still there. Hold on, let me see if it's me.
Yeah, the echo.
We good now. I don't hear them. All right. Last letter, y'all. All right, so now we have the Tha. Its numerical value is 400. It literally comes from the word Tha, which means mark or sign. Now, if you look at this, doesn't it like picture the old treasure maps and remember how you would have like the cross or the X in the middle? And it looks just like that. It's saying like it's a mark or a sign. It's to designate this is where something is located. And that's pretty much it. So first lesson on Hebrew. So now this is how it would actually look. You have the A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, or Ha. You gotta, like when you say Ha, like you gotta clear your throat a little bit. And then you have the Ta, Za, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Tza, Wa, Ra, Sha, Ta. Now I'm not gonna act like I'm as fluent with the Hebrew as the elder Kyle Ratzazion. The water for that elder from the house of David. Definitely, because he made an actual song out of it. Right. He made the Hebrew ABCs. I never seen it done.
Hey,
great job, though, King.
The soldier Octave said, you can trace the people. Hold on, I'm gonna put it up here. You can trace the people by their language, man. You can trace, and that's powerful. That's true. You can trace people by their language. I don't know if anybody else remembers, but in the late 90s and early 2000s, there was a big movement about Ebonics and how Black people talk in America. Well, come to find out, we was putting the I at the end of everything. But you go back and look in Hebrew, that was our way. That's how we spoke. And we did it in slang. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of the Bible was spoken in slang.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That's part of that being the salt of the earth, man. That's why Esau he can't go into these scriptures and break this down in depth. He can't do it. He don't have that salt. He can't speak in slang. He can't talk to you brother to brother like that. You know what I'm saying? So the water for that, we hope to get into deeper lessons with that. We
definitely will. Salaki, one more thing I want to point out. All Israelite tribes speak broken versions of their oppressive language.
Mm-hmm.
So we speak our English over here. Is our English the same English they speak over there in England? Where they speak the King's English? Out there in Manchester?
Oh, we got a problem coming for y'all to deal with that too.
Better ask the Mexican, like even so-called Mexicans, the Spanish that they speak is not the same Spanish that the conquistadors speak in Spain. Mm-hmm. It's not the same. Dominicans, Panamanians, El Salvadorians, none of them.
I used to wonder that. I used to like why because you used to ask them and they used to say that like it's a little different. I used to like, but it is the same thing. That's before I learned, you know what I mean, that'd be the same, you know. I'm like, man, ain't it the same thing? So how y'all speaking different Spanish compared to how they speak, you know? But that's what it was, you know what I mean?
Same thing with Benjamin.
Everybody
in the Caribbean. Y'all speak.
You call it patois. Some call it patois, some call it that's the regular accent, but we all have a different broken up language that we use. Using even some like how Jamaicans they say the word picnic. You know what I mean? You don't really hear everybody saying that. You know what I mean? Me and child, you don't really hear everybody, but a lot of words we actually use it. You'll find in the Bible. You know what I mean? So a lot of times you're mixing up the language just like how a lot of our ancestors mixed up the language.
Same thing with Levi. Levi speak broken French. My people in New Orleans. Or even some of us that, because I'm originally from Savannah, so some of us that speak Geechee down there, it's like a cross between English and Creole, which is already broken down French.
Mm-hmm. Just broke it down some more.
But that's it. Yeah. The water, Edwin, for allowing me to use this platform.
So with that, that's pretty much the end of our show, end of our lesson tonight. If there are any questions on the lesson or the Hebrew, let's go ahead and take those first. I'm not doing a long, extensive Q&A session. I've had a long, rough day. And I gave y'all a part of my day. So hopefully y'all understand I'm not in the mood to be doing a long Q&A session. I'm texting my friend right now while we're doing this to get him to come back to the house and get the clothes and stuff. So I'm not trying to give an excuse. I'm just literally being honest with y'all, Israel. I have other things. Y'all are a priority to me, but I got to take care of my family too. So I got to fix the situation with my brother. Anything in the chat? Any questions in the chat right now? If you want some other stuff, you off topic, you want that, we're not even going to deal with it. We're not even going to argue with you tonight. Time? Live? No questions?
I don't want y'all were all mentioned the other day. Like a lot of this would be some good points that be bringing out. Y'all need to ask y'all questions to get a deeper understanding, especially with something y'all miss. I mean, don't miss that opportunity when the brothers ask, is there any questions? Jump on that.
Sharon Purdy, what do you mean about the Gimel or 3? I don't understand that question.
Was it the third Hebrew thing he was talking about?
I'm not sure. Let her clear that up. Phoenix Storm ready to go. Phoenix Storm.
I can break that down real quick. All right, so in the Hebrew must be the spirit. This is actually how you write
it. About to Gimel? Okay, thank you. All right.
Yeah, she meant Gamal, and it means camel. That's how you would write it in the Paleo Hebrew. So in English, you might spell it Gimel. Is how you would typically see it, but it's really pronounced with the God, the Ma, and the La.
All right. All right, Israel. If there are no other questions, Barnabas, go to Romans 10:1.
Con.
We want to close it out. We want to tell y'all the water for joining us again. Appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We love y'all. Thank y'all for allowing us to have somebody that have this program and giving us a reason to be out here. We appreciate y'all for everything you do. And we're going to close it out with this scripture right here.
Con. This is the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High, Yahweh, for Israel is that they might be saved.
No, just a portion of them.
That they might be saved.
All Israel might be.
All Israel.
That's SOT's goal. That's our desire. That's our will. And with that, I'm going to say, Shalom.
Shalom.
You can't forget. This is another segment of Thursday Night Thunder.
Shalom.
That's right.
We love y'all.
Hey, we love y'all, Israel. Shalom.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatam.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatam.